We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need's right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything we Moonlight on your naked skin. Summer's blind us to give in. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go? Stars align onto your face. Pretty sweet, your sour taste. Make me sing along, sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got sharing all your deepest dreams, wonder what they really mean. Yeah, in the empty bottle lies all the answers. Write down all your memories, feel the things you wanna feel. Yeah, in the empty bottle lies all the answers. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got
Hello, everyone. How is everybody? Oh, can everybody see the screen? Can you see a picture or is it blank? Just let me know in the comment section. I think we're having a few connection issues and it doesn't seem to be showing, or on my side, it doesn't seem to be showing the image. So I just want to make sure that you all can see it. Okay, it is. Okay. That's strange. You can see Satan, okay. Okay. As long as I know that you all can see it, that is fine. Happy Friday, everyone. Congratulations. You made it to the end of the week. Yeah, a lot to go through today. You know, every time it goes quiet or every time Harry and Meghan are just on a roll, because it has kind of been one thing after the other. The last couple of weeks we had the NAACP awards and the donations and charitable work for Women's Month, the statement for Ukraine that was said before the rest of the Unroyal Mafia. So every single time we kind of have these moments of peace and these moments of glory, I'm just like, what's coming next? And I knew something was coming. I just didn't think that this was coming. So we're gonna get into all of that. Um, I can see you with the comments already. Yeah, Samantha's ego is such that she needs to start something, so someone will pay her to say nothing, and this attack on Meghan is all that she got. Yeah. Yeah, poetry is polite. I was just thinking a few days ago that they've been real quiet, and here she is. I believe the palace is behind this because why now? Yeah, and that's pretty much the first thing that I was gonna say was that it has to be the palace or the Daily Fail behind this and involved in this because where does Samantha Markle get money to go up against Meghan and Shillings? Where? Where's she gonna get money for that? So there's definitely someone backing her. Um, this doesn't even make sense to me because what I gathered from what she's trying to sue for is something that was said during the Oprah interview. Now, from my memory, the only thing that Meghan said was that her and Samantha didn't grow up together and that she didn't really know her. So I think what she's trying to do is to create a situation where Meghan would have to talk about her past private life, because effectively what she would have to prove if she had any type of case, which this is not, this is a complete and utter waste of judicial time, she would have to prove via past interactions with Meghan, of which, from what Meghan says, and I believe her, are very limited, that they were very close. So I'm not even sure what she's suing her for, because she hasn't really said anything. Meghan hasn't said anything that's defamatory. She just says, I never knew her. So where does she get material to write a book? Oh, yeah. Welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, almost 400 of you in the chat. Oh gosh, hello Rosa, Denise, DeRay, Joan Commonwealth, hello, Palena, Jean, Joyce, Anna, hello to you, darling. Valerie, fancy. Hello, Lydia. Cinderella, hello. Chiefy Dilly, you're singing along. Terry, Angela. Oh, Sandra, hello. Erica, hi. J-Law. P Talks, hello. Sandy. Raven, Edith. Oh, hi, Edith. How are you, darling? How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had some time for yourself. Sister, hello. All right, I think almost everyone is in the chat. But yeah, there had to be something. They had to pull out, and this is the best that they can do. Candace, Samantha said in her public statement that she has photos of them growing up together. Aside from the fact that she's 16 years older, we all know she has sold them already. Exactly. Why is this coming out now? Oh. As Emerald, her book came out long before the interview. Admit it, Samantha, nobody wants to buy your book. Yeah. Because do you know what? As much as people dislike Meghan, I think they know that Samantha is a fraud. They're not saying that they think Samantha is a fraud, but I think they know. They just give her attention to spite Meghan. And let's not forget that a lot of this is just a distraction, and we'll get into that in a minute. Joan Commonwealth, as she said that they didn't grow up poor, and Meghan was besmirching her dad and her character. That left the building ages ago when he sold a Meghan for 30 pieces of silver. But I don't actually remember. Meghan's never really said anything negative about her. I think she said that at the most, you know, she's disappointed, as any child would be. I don't even know if she said that, to be honest. But she's never slandered him. So even Doria has never said anything public about him. I don't know where all this victim mentality comes from. He didn't want his daughter Meghan. He wanted Duchess Meghan. And when he didn't get his way, he was willing to sell her to the highest bidder. The highest bidder being TMZ and possibly the Royal Mafia. Jennifer, thanks for the information shared on Tefl. Oh, well, I'm glad you found it useful. Anything to help. Yes, Andreen, she should be explaining why her own children don't like her because I've done interviews on her. So obviously, this isn't a distraction from many things. It's a distraction from this, from the fact that the Royal Mafia are being dragged into possible nefarious relations with Russian businessmen. It's a distraction from the case that Harry has with the Daily Fail and also with the Home Office. It's a distraction from this, which I actually forgot to bring up yesterday. We are at the 1-year anniversary of when Buckingham Palace launched the so-called case into the bullying claims, and nothing has ever materialized from this, obviously because it's nothing but BS. They told the whole world that Meghan was a bully. Meghan, someone who has never had any bullying accusations against her whole life, and produced absolutely no evidence. And the individual that was involved in these bullying allegations, Jason Knauf, has disappeared back into the back under whichever rock he crawled out of. Yeah, Satan is trying to get publicity for her book. She will regret her attacks on her sister Sam is a disgusting bottom feeder. And if indeed the palace or the Daily Fail are backing her, because I believe that they're still looking for their show trial that they never got last time, she's just going to end up being collateral for them. Because this, straight off from the bat, is a non-case. And if and as and when, Meghan wins again, she's going to be she's just going to be left out to dry. Yes, and this is another issue, Anna. Thank you for bringing it up. Doesn't the bee hang out with murky mutt? Yes, she does. Now, Christopher Boozy tweeted something the other day and alluded to the fact that this could have something to do with murky mutt. And there are many people believe that those trolls, especially the three main ones, murky mutt, according to Taz, and the other one whose name I can't remember, also possibly could be allegedly connected to the palace in some way. So there's definitely something strange going on here, aside from the fact that this is potentially just a distraction. Joyce, all the pictures of Meghan that Samantha has shown have been pictures when Meghan was a baby or a young girl. Meghan never said anything about Samantha. Yeah, she's never said anything negative. I've actually only ever seen one picture of her with Samantha, and that was at Samantha's graduation. But, you know, I mean, graduations are kind of just like family events. So I've been to people's graduations and I'm not even like close to the person graduating. So it doesn't mean anything. So this is definitely another attempt to drag her back to court. Crystal J. Hello, Crystal. Samantha accused the Duchess of. Oh, is this from? This is a statement. Samantha accused the Duchess of a premeditated campaign to destroy her reputation and that of her father, Thomas Markle. She claims that Mr. Markle paid for Meghan to attend an elite school. I don't think that Meghan has ever denied that her father paid for Meghan to attend an elite school. She just mentioned that she did get a scholarship, but she didn't. Okay, how do I put this? She has never not said that her father supported her. It's just the only time. It's just times when she's been asked about her education, she mentioned the scholarship. but she didn't not say that her father supported her, if that makes sense. Because if I had had a little bit of a bust up with my father, um, maybe just in passing, in talking about certain aspects of my life, yeah, maybe I would leave him out. Um, Brenda, Megan needs to countersue Samantha for the lies she told on her. Samantha is old enough to be Megan's mother. Yeah. And can you imagine if she does counter? I mean, I don't know how this is going to work. Will Megan countersue or just, I don't know, try and have the case dissolved? Oh, 50 Dilly scams is just so jealous of Harry and Meghan, but especially on Meghan. Scammy Sam is vile. Yeah, because I mean, other than leeching off of Meghan, what does she even do? There's obviously nothing hot that she can offer the tabloids. Otherwise, she would have offered it to them already. She sold all the pictures of her and Meghan, the few that she has with her. She's done the rounds on all of the TV shows. So definitely, it seems like the money tap is running dry. I don't know who's gonna hire someone who's a blatant liar and who the whole world knows is a liar. I mean, I wouldn't even have her behind the counter. She might steal some pennies from the registrar. So she's desperate now. This is what happens when you're a lying troll. There's only so long that you can take from the well of lies. Would have gained a lot more being truthful. Heck, Meghan would probably hire her if she was nice and she had been truthful and supported her half sister. She could have a job at Archwell right now, but she chose the path of jealousy. Meghan's attorney said, "We will give it minimum attention necessary, which is all it deserves, and rightfully. So don't give Sammy any attention." Yeah. And I believe that on Meghan's so-called bullying accusations, the Buckingham Palace have responded by saying that they've got nothing more to say on the matter. But you told the whole world that she was a bully. Wait, the palace said that the findings will come out this year. Hmm. I have to double check. I think they released some kind of statement, but I don't know what the full statement is. Yes, please, thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Oro. Yes, Lilybell. This is the same scammy who was part of Hate Christopher Boozy's expose in his reports. So that is that. Let me just scroll all the way through. Hello, Finn's husband. The murky channel is still ongoing, and Boozy's report didn't seem to faze them. The hate levied at their recent event was a spiritual upload about that couple. Well, Murky did actually go silent for a little bit, but given that this recent event with Meghan and Harry was one of the first where they're there in public and speaking, and we get to see and hear them in HD. There was no way that those hater channels weren't going to cover that event, because that's a lot of money on their part. So that's why they probably will suddenly come out of the woodworks, because they were never going to miss that cash cow. Sonia, Meghan's entire university education was paid by scholarships, grants, and Meghan working on campus. Northwestern confirmed it. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Thomas Markle money cannot cover Meghan's tuition. She did work study to get a little extra. Most of us had to join work study programs. Yeah, but even still, it's like she's never actually said anything about her school and her dad. So I don't know where they would get an accusation from if she's never said anything. It's like they just pull everything out of thin air. And yeah, Dory, don't all parents pay for their children's school if they have the money to? That's what you're meant to do as a parent. That's your duty. So I don't know why they're acting like it was some great sacrifice, like it's called being a parent. He was meant to be being a parent. And just because a parent has done what it is their job is to do, if they then go on to hurt the child in the way that Thomas Markle has done, that child has every right to, never have anything to do with them again. Because at that point, if you hurt your child, your responsibility to your child, you've broken that bond of trust. So Meghan doesn't owe him anything anymore. Hello, my point of view. Yes, Teresa. Kensington's half nicknamed her Meghan, but she's the bully who they're trying to fool. Yeah, Meghan, and there was also the degree wife. Doesn't Catherine have a degree? And what is so wrong and unusual on this side of the century about a woman having a degree? Okay, so that's that, and yeah, there was some people obviously are digging up the receipts, and so there was this Q&A that Meghan did for Mag, and they asked her, as a child, did you wish you could go on more conventional trips like your friends? And she said, this is all I knew, just like being an only child was all I knew. I was always aware of how unique and cool it was that my mum got to take me to all these cool places because of her job and connections. It was so much fun traveling, primarily with my mum. I never felt envious of more cookie cutter type vacations, although I'm sure those would have been wonderful too. My mum never wanted me to just go to a resort and leave the property, and not leave the property and think that was all there was to visiting a foreign country. We like going to Mexico and tried to get really into authentic cultural experiences. So she says it right there. And this interview was before she joined the royal family. And in the same interview, the magazine said, LA born raised, Markle is an only child. So there you go. She was raised alone. Just because you have half siblings doesn't mean that you were raised with them. Okay, so in slightly more positive news, in Europe, we have a competition called Eurovision, and all songs from around the continent come together, and Europe votes on the winner. And one of the potentials this year mentioned Meghan in her song, and the song starts, what is the secret behind Meghan Markle's healthy hair? What could be the secret? What is the secret behind Meghan Markle's healthy hair? Now, when she's actually singing it, she's singing it in Serbian. So I don't know, is she a squaddy? Is she fishing for squaddies' attention? Because this will be one of the best Eurovision PR stunts that I've seen in a while. So I thought that was really interesting, especially as someone who's a huge Eurovision fanatic. Absolutely love Eurovision. It's one of my favorite things to watch every single year. The United Kingdom sucks most of the time. Although when we do make an effort, we do pretty decently. Everybody says, like Eurovision has become so political. Well, to a certain degree, it has. But if you like the years that the United Kingdom has actually bothered to put a decent song, we've done pretty well. So I'll be interested to see how far this song gets in Eurovision. I think it's at the moment a song that wants to qualify to be Serbia's song. But how funny would it be if this song actually won? Mind you, also little interesting thing about Eurovision, the last time Serbia won was in 2007, and the picture with the red background, that was the winner of Serbia. It was one of the biggest upsets of all time, because the second place, the Lady Gaga lookalike, That was actually a performer from Ukraine back in 2007. And it's so interesting that that song has the Ukrainian song. Go listen to it. It's a 2007 Ukrainian song from Eurovision. It's one of the most iconic songs of all time. But it came second. So I thought that was just a little interesting Eurovision fact, and shout out to Ukraine there for you. Let's see what you're saying in the comments. Anna, the scam needs more dough. She should write another book. Let her fingers get arthritis. Oh, Anna. Cookies and cream. It's so evident that the Unroyal Mafia and their racist goons are behind the lawsuit. They're becoming so predictable, and Sussex is receiving the award and work have the Unroyals going bonkers. Yeah, they don't know what to do. It's almost as if they keep convincing themselves that every time Harry and Meghan are quiet, it's because they're cowering or running away or something. Like, no, they're working at all times. While you're sitting there and obsessing over them, the Sussexes are actually working. Unbelievable. Pamela, I believe the phrase degree wife refers to the length of time the marriage would last. 3 years for an undergrad. I think the UK earns a degree. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that it was being said in that context. Andreen, when Meghan was working for Suits, she was giving Thomas money. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm sure that she would have tried to support her father, because up until the media and allegedly the palace got involved with trying to bring him in to basically ruin the wedding, it does seem like, to a certain degree, they probably weren't close, but they were at least to a certain degree communicating, and you could kind of sense that in Meghan's letter, that she was genuinely trying her best with her father, but her father just seemed to, I don't know, he just let greed get the better of him. Sister. I think the Markles have skeletons in their closets. If they're not careful, Meghan will expose their dirty secrets to that foul when it comes to protecting their children. Well, Meghan doesn't have to expose their secrets. Have you noticed how every single time that these people go after Meghan like this, their secrets end up coming out? Because wait, there was something okay, I'm a bit annoyed at myself because I think I forgot to upload it, but there was something in an article about, okay, let me try and get it on my phone, because it was something about Jason Knauf. Okay, so this was from a Daily Fail article. Sorry, I'm having to read this off of my phone, but from the Daily Fail article about Samantha Markle's lawsuit. It says in November 2001, she vows to sue Meghan, stating she would subpoena Jason Knauf, who had graciously supplied her with information. She solicits lawyers via Twitter, although she has repeatedly stated she has a lawyer who will be dealing with her and with her publisher and Amazon committing fraud against her. So, in other words, Jason Knauf, Prince William and Kate Middleton's CEO, not only insisted the tabloids in court against Meghan, he was also providing information to Samantha Markle, who, mind you, is on the Met Police fixated persons list because she allegedly, didn't she show up to one of the palaces or something looking for Meghan? So, I mean, the rabbit hole just gets deeper and darker. Mm, yes, Mary, these people are gold diggers. They're money and power hungry. Cookies and cream. Don't forget the anniversary to the Oprah interview and the bullying claim investigations are coming up. The Unroyal Mafia know they have no evidence. This is another attempt to humiliate Meghan. Yeah. And the thing is, though, like, I think for people who dislike Meghan, they're not even going to stop to question, like, where's the evidence? You said that she was a bully. Where's the evidence? Teresa, when asked by Meghan and not Kate in the song, she said Meghan was prettier. Really? Oh gosh, was that an interview or something? I have to look that up. Maggie, I bet Harry is on his way to The Hague because Invictus starts April 16th, and Harry has a documentary coming up on the athletes in The Hague. Probably, yeah. I mean, this is what the Sussexes are focused on at the moment, on the Invictus Games. They're not worried about Samantha Markle. Okay. Oh, Invictus wants to start Winter Games. That'll be great. I mean, I'm definitely ready for some new brand of major sporting events because I don't know about you, but the Olympics was just so drab the last 2 years. Anna, let us know how you really feel, as Church Nelly is saying. Okay, so that's that. Was there anything? Oh, yeah. Only other thing is, yes, the infighting between the houses begins, and I mean, this is partially what that 12 million paid for, wasn't it? To prop up Camilla and to make sure that Camilla's getting all of the PR, all of the great PR. And it's interesting that someone said the other day that they're propping up Kate to fail. And I do wonder, is it a possibility that William could be working with Clarence House to phase out Kate? I don't know. And then he'll turn around and stab his father in the back. If you've got the Daily Fail using a front cover to talk about Camilla's street fashion, the next couple of years is going to be very interesting because the infighting started a long time ago. But come on, like, move over Kate. I mean, I don't like any of these people, but at least Kate looks decent in her clothes. Like, I don't know who they're fooling with this, or like who's even the target audience for this. Because those who like Catherine like her for her clothes. Oh, hello, Helene. The last time they rented a villa in The Hague for a period of 6 weeks near the beach. Ooh. Interesting fact. Thank you for letting us know. Joyce, I believe I see us looking at Canada and some other place for the Winter Games. Well, Meghan, she's met Trudeau before, so I don't know. I think Canada has to sort out whatever's going on over there first. Thank you, Lucy. Yes, please thumbs up and subscribe. So these million people coming from Meghan wouldn't let her get any peace of mind. Moving away, as they say, don't change anything, as we see non-stop. Uh, yeah. Yes, Maggie. Don't forget Camilla gave Daily Photo a Ukraine contribution to butter up the press. Oh, and that's money that's I don't even think that's not going to be Camilla's private wealth. That's the taxpayers' money. Sash, how on earth are those little houses on the Prairie glitch high fashion? Are they serious? uh, well, it's also interesting that this article comes out just after this other article came out the other day about, Kate's becoming the most publicly prominent female in the royal family under a new strategy. So I wonder if this is also partly a response to that article. Teresa, oh, the infighting has been delicious. All that work, Kate and Camilla knocked her out with one donation. Well, I mean, do you know that whole donation thing was front page news, but no one's really talked about it. Like nobody's actually, they're doing all this work to kind of put themselves at the center of this whole situation with Ukraine, and like nobody actually cares about whatever it is the royal family has to say about this. We've got bigger issues. Oh, while I'm on that, actually, those of you who are members, please go and check the community tab. You know that I am really big on preparedness and survival. Yes, I am a prepper. I am a prepper, and I do have a prepping guide. But those of you who are members, if you go to the community tab for the next 72 hours, you get my prepping guide for free. So please, I encourage you all. There's 700 of you listening, so I might as well just say it. Please do consider at least just some basic prepping, guys and dolls. Have some spare canned food, dried stuff in your cupboard. I think it goes without saying now that it's just an important provision to have. I remember I was having this conversation with friends and family even before 2020, and they all looked at me like I was completely and utterly mad. And I think a lot of them are now kind of coming round. So those of you who are members, hit the tab, and you'll see it in a private post. Oh, hello, Daniel Medical. I think you're a new member. Thank you so much for joining. Why the side-by-side shot with the model? Do we have to reminded how the outfit should look? I think they're saying that you can dress like this too. You can rock coat dresses. Neva, and allegedly Thomas has a pension and social security. He gambles, so her contributions was not enough because his adult son daughter kept hounding him for money. Meghan is supporting them all. Oh, okay. I mean, Meghan has proven herself to be a generous person, so it wouldn't surprise me if she did try to help him. Church Nelly. Church Nelly, I'm not putting that comment on the screen, but I do agree with you. Okay, I think I've spotted a troll, so I have to put you in timeout. Okay, so that's pretty much all I had to say. So I'll just finish up with your comments and we'll call it a day. Please take some time to give yourself to breathe away from the media. It's a lot right now. But as bad as things are, I think you always have to consider the fact that the media is always push fear as much as they can. And while this is a very difficult and very scary situation, it's important to not let fear and anxiety take over, because then you don't function properly. So do take time away from the news, away from social media. Take time to meditate. Take time to be with your family. and don't have the news running in the background all the time. Um, Helene, they will love it here. The Dutch have very strict paparazzi. Okay, it's good to know. Melissa too, yes. These articles show these folks don't care of the everyday people. Inflation is up in the UK. So they even care? Well, it's gonna be up, as soon as you mentioned that, not even up even more, not even in the UK, but all over the place. It's quite interesting. I was reading an article the other day. Ukraine is a bit of a breadbasket. They produce a lot of wheat, and Russia produces quite a significant portion of the world's fertilizer. So when you add those two things together, when you add the inflation that's already affecting food, that's probably going to get worse throughout the year. So something else to think about. But yeah, it's already quite bad in the UK. And when you then add, the heating prices, and we are literally at a point where people are having to choose between heating their homes and food, which is really sad. Um, Andreen, Kate flying solo. Someone had an argument. They just preparing for saving the rumors for coming out. Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. It does seem like they're softly introducing the idea of them separating. And also, isn't this is it the 20th or the 25th anniversary of Diana's passing? So they know that a lot of the attention is going to be taken from them. Yeah. Are they really trying to put Camilla um, as a fashion icon against Meghan and Kate? You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't like Kate, but keeping it real, she's a fashion icon to some people. To some people. Camilla is a fashion icon to no one. So I don't even know what smelly hat did they pull that out of? It's laughable. Teresa, question: where did that donation come from? Not feeding the Queen, but she donated to an actual charity. Paying the fell was an obvious PR ploy. Well, even the Queen's donation, we don't know where that came from. We don't know if that came from the private estate or whether that came from the taxpayer. Yeah, Andrew, and they don't realize how many receipts we have. We've got all the receipts. Been keeping receipts for 4 years. I'm sure Shilling's got all the receipts and more. Mary, there was a post on the games in 2025. There are bids going on. That's fantastic. So there's already people bidding for the next games. I mean, it's actually quite remarkable when you think about it. All of the stuff that the Sussexes have going on. Building an entertainment company, Harry's got Invictus Games, and it's only going to grow year after year after year. I mean, taken over. Sonja, I know Duchess of Success. I've been telling my family about prepping. Is that meant to be prepping since 2017 and got the same response? I've been trying to add a little for my grads to my stuff every month. Do you know what I think it is, Sonja? I think a lot of people have normalcy bias. They don't believe that they don't believe that certain things will happen to them or in their country. I don't think that, on Sunday night when Russian people went to bed, that they'd wake up on Monday and their currency would, be down 70% of its purchasing power. Nobody in Ukraine thought what was coming was going to come. Nobody in Turkey thought that inflation would be at 40%. Nobody in Lebanon thought that inflation would be at whatever percentage is in Lebanon. It's ridiculous at the moment. So I think what it is it's normalcy bias. People just assume like something bad like that is never going to happen to me and in my country. And when you say, come on, fam, like, it's not going to hurt anyone just to be a little bit prepared. You look like the mad black sheep until a pandemic starts or until a war breaks out. And the problem is that people then go in panic mode, and now you're with everybody else who's panicking and fighting for toilet paper. So I'm a huge advocate for prepping. Go back a couple of generations, everybody was a prepper. You know, during the last World War, I think something like 50% of people had a garden. Think about that, guys. Like, you know, everybody could pretty much fend for themselves. And now we're so reliant on the grid that we live on that people don't imagine that they even think that they should fend for themselves. But I remember seeing those empty shelves the day after lockdown in the UK, and from that day when I saw that when it comes to situations like that is every person for themselves, that's when I became a prepper, because people weren't thinking like, oh, I'll take one or two things and leave something for my neighbor. It was like, nope, everything was gone. I've never seen the shelves so empty. I think the only section of the store that still had anything was like the sweets. Every single thing was empty. So I believe in prepping, and I think at this point where we are now, it's not um it's not even an option to prep. I think it's a necessity. Sandra, yes, capital words, prepping. Melita, I agree, guys. Start storing up food again. A lot of food, perishables, food and water and medicine. I heard someone said to store up for a year. Things are getting pretty expensive. Yeah. So generally, like if you start hanging around prepping circles, the aim should always be for at least a year. You should work up to a year, buying different dried and canned foods. I'm actually looking into getting a dehydrator. You can dehydrate foods. There's so many things that you can do. Definitely like look around the prepping channels. I'm going to be posting more on my prepping channel. The only thing that I would say is if you're going to start getting into prepping and watching prepping channels, always look for channels that give you solutions to problems and tell you what to do, and don't just feed on fears, because that's a little bit of an issue that we have in the prepping community. A lot of people tend to feed fear more than give you solutions. So that's the only thing that I would say. Ginger, I cannot wait for spring to get out in my garden, away from all this disappointing news. Yeah, and this is the time to actually start start planting your vegetable garden. I was going to do a bit of a vegetable garden this year, but I don't know if I would rather put that money into other preps. We'll see. Thank you everybody for coming. Enjoy your weekend. Cinderella, Angela Latrine opened her mouth today. Well, if she opened it, I didn't hear what came out. Thank goodness. So thank you, Mary. It's the 25th anniversary of Diana's death. We should definitely do something for that. I'm not quite sure what, but we should do something. Cinderella, I've been prepping since the start of the pandemic, just in case. That's fantastic. So happy to know that I've got preppers in this community. Abby, we are out of the EU now. If anything happens, who will help us? We've still got like some. I can imagine there are like still some kind of like agreements. I mean, on the UK, we're still part of NATO, right? We're still part of the G7, so I don't know. That's a good question. Don't actually know the exact answer to that. Don't start. We had ice storms in the Pacific Northwest last year, and we lost power on our block for almost a week. Our food store and camping gear save us. You never really know. Exactly. Don't start. Exactly. Love to hear it. Yeah, and that's what you prep for. Like you prep a lot of people say that like preppers are paranoid, and I feel like the whole kind of like doomsday prepper thing kind of painted this image of all of us as, paranoid and crazy. But I feel like I prep so that I don't have to be paranoid, and I just get on with my life, and my preps are there, and if I need them, I'll use them. If I don't, like, I just get on, with whatever else it is that I'm doing, and you hope that you don't need them. It's that, prepare for the worst and hope for the best and get on with life. Um, Marsha, does anyone know what happened to the lady who stalked Meghan? She went to New York for the baby shower when she was carrying Archie. I don't know what happened to that lady, and but I've always found that so disturbing. That woman would have been there because it's just so random that a woman with a British accent would be standing outside a New York hotel and would yell at Meghan. I think she yelled "Charlatan Duchess." So the idea that she went all the way there is actually really scary. And can you imagine if she'd had a weapon or something? Oh, don't even want to think about it. CMAC, keep your bug out buckets prepared, squad. One for each family member, so you can grab and go if needed. Yes, and looking at all of these images of Ukrainian refugees, it really speaks to why things like bug out bags are really important. Um, so thank you for mentioning that as well, CMAC. Look into bug out bags if you don't already have one. Uh, Lady, a bit of a hoarder with the tins of food. Yes. We have a lot of tin food, a lot of dried, dried, dried grains, things like rice, beans, and like most things like rice and beans do very, very well in the packages that they come in. But if you vacuum seal them, especially in mylar bags and put oxygen absorbers, they can last for 10. Well, some people claim up to 10 or 20 years. So there's a lot of like prepping channels that show you how to extend the shelf life of food. Anna, so many go nuts over toilet paper. That's insane. Buy the big industrial size toilet paper. You will not run out. My mum actually said that she found it so funny that they were buying toilet paper and not food. And she was like, "What are you gonna crap in the toilet if you haven't bought food to eat, but you're buying toilet paper?" Think about it. Um, mm. Ginger Lily, I want to learn about canning foods. There, do you know what? Just go on Amazon and just Google canning food or preserving food. There's a couple of books that I have um in my prepping library. Like I've started a prepping library, and also look into videos on YouTube about pressure canning. There's like two main canners that most preppers have, either what's called the pesto canner or the all American canner. So look into videos about both of them. I think the all American one is a little bit more heavy duty and a lot more expensive. But yeah, look into that, and also how to can different foods safely so that you don't end up getting botulism, because that's the main risk with canning foods by yourself. But yes, canning is a great thing to look into, especially if you're starting a garden and you know that you're going to have excess produce. It's great to have a canner. Sandra, they will be knocking on your door if they can to eat up your stuff. Well, the first rule of prepping is it's meant to be don't tell anyone that you're a prepper. So that's another thing that I would say if you're going to start prepping. I usually shop either very, very early in the morning or quite late at night when there's not anyone around and no one can see me. And also when I do deliveries, I do it at times when there's nobody really around, because I don't want people seeing like all this stuff coming into my house, because in emergency situations people lose their minds and it's all about survival. So in order to avoid that, Sonja, just be very, very discreet about your preps, because for sure they will be coming and knocking to get your rice and beans and oats. uh Trufadilly, I bought a kilo of dried apple slices. That's amazing. Do you have a dehydrator, Trufadilly? That's something that I'm looking into. Cinderella, you bought lots of cans of dry food, even milk and butter. Yeah. Do you know what? I might just. I can't believe like how many preppers are actually in this chat now. I might just like start do like a live prepping chat sometime on my other channel though. It seems a lot of you are really into this stuff. Sister, if you are ready, you don't have to get ready. Yes, absolutely. Yes, London lady, start saving seeds from everything you eat as well. But make sure if you're saving seeds, make sure that the vegetable or fruit that you got it from, that the seed was organic, because GMO seeds don't germinate. So even when I buy seeds now, I always buy heirloom seeds and organic seeds. America, we can't plant for months. We still have snow, but you can still plant stuff indoors. You can plant things in grow bags indoors. So look into that. Look into urban prepping or city prepping, and you can get a lot of tips and tricks on how to grow stuff indoors. Andreen, yes, nobody can replace Diana, and I don't know why they keep trying with trying with Camilla, because I think that the general public has let it been known that we're just not interested in her. Cookies and cream. Meghan is a human being with feelings. I hope Meghan countersues also start going after these nasty line bully racists like punk moron. You had to stand up to those racist bullies, yeah. But like I said, I feel like there's certain people like punk moron who eventually destroy themselves. Because if you've noticed, a lot of the stuff that he's saying recently doesn't have the same bite that it used to. Oh, hello, Karen Warner. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Janita, you were raised by preppers. That's interesting. Love to know what that was like. But like I said, like a couple of generations ago, everybody was a prepper. They didn't even call it prepping. Helene, I have always prepped. I love making my own jams and freeze my veggies. I really want to try jam making. I think it's definitely one of the fun things I like about prepping is learning about the different ways to preserve food. I did try pickled eggs recently, but they came out horrible. So I'm going to try that again. Benjamin, there are still ties there, even with Brexit. Here in America, we're getting close to $5 a gallon for gasoline. Yeah, the price of oil has gone up. Everybody who had stocks in oil, fertilizer, gold, silver and weapons is very, very happy right now. I mean, being a prepper, I do prep gold and silver, and it's so the demand for silver is so high that the shipping is taking a lot longer than usual, and it's very expensive. Even silver right now is very expensive. Teresa, so is it ever to grab Duchess of Success books on Amazon? Oh, you mean my Oh, do you mean like my books that I wrote? My travel book and my other book. Oh, thank you. If that's what you meant. Yes, I have authored 2 books before, and obviously the prepping guide, but that's not on Amazon. That's just a download. Oh, you're going to an Elton John concert? That's really cool. And Nassau Coliseum, is that in Vegas? Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Karen. We love our fans here. Cinderella, MREs are great for prepping and last for many years. Yes, but do make sure that you, anybody who's looking into buying MREs, always just buy 1 pack, or with anything that you're prepping long term, if you've never tasted it before, buy it and try it first before you buy loads. Because I've seen examples in the prepping community. Somebody went out and bought like what 2, 3, 4,000 pounds of MREs, tasted it, and it tasted like sludge. There's this one particular company. I've never tried them, and I think they're only available in the US at the moment. Um, but one of my favorite prepping channels, Alaska Prepper, he really advocates for nutrient survival. There's a MRE company called Nutrient Survival. So go and check them out and try them because it does genuinely seem like they're a very good company. Um, Andre, you need to have a place to bug out to. Yeah, that's also helpful if you can have one. But for most people, I think that's not an option. But if you do have a place that you can bug out to, good for you. Yes, the LDS Church has a tradition of prepping. Oh, the LDS Church also have they have like an online tool where you can measure um, how much food you would actually need for like a year's supply. So look into that. Be blessed. Greetings from Florida. Florida's hurricane season from last June to November, so prepping is necessary. I live up north. I prep for the snow. Yeah, isn't Boston having, or didn't they have like really bad snow at some point? Yes, Chief Dilly, a big old bag of quinoa. Quinoa is also really good to prep. It's a little bit more expensive than rice and other grains. Yes, Robert Collins. Don't you just find it so gross that we don't use bidets in the West? I traveled quite a bit of Southeast Asia, and I've done like stopovers in different countries in the Middle East, and like obviously, they use bidets, and so I don't understand how we don't have them. It's insanity, really, all this tissue nonsense. Yeah, Cinderella, there's lots of videos on YouTube of people canning and prepping. Hello, Black Queen. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Cinderella, don't forget batteries and flashlights and a radio. Oh, and also like an off-grid methods of cooking food. Because if the lights go out, you need to cook that food somehow. Effie, I never consider myself a prepper, but I keep stock dried and canned foods and toilet paper. Yes, the toilet paper, the all-important toilet paper. When the virus started, we weren't frustrated. Good for you. And that's what you want. You don't want to be one of those people rushing to the shops. Oh wait, Joyce. So that lady was actually there to stab her stomach and prove that she wasn't pregnant. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh, that's so disgusting. And no one's really ever followed up on like who she was, or I feel like the squad needs to do our own private investigation. Yeah, Benjamin, that's why you got to be careful about telling people that you're a prepper because they will try to rob. All the people that told you that you were crazy for prepping, they'll come knocking at your door like zombies. Watermelon dehydration tastes like candy, really? Okay, I'll try that. Yeah, America, you don't need a pressure canner to can everything. Some things, I think it depends on like the acidity of whatever it is, but some things like you can water bath, I believe. Um, there's that. Benjamin, this sounds like Armageddon. No, there's no need to get anxiety. There's no need to get anxiety at all. It's just a case of better to be safe than sorry. I mean, think about it. Here in the United Kingdom, we just had floods. People had to leave their homes, electricity cut out. During the winter, there were electricity cutouts. So it's about being prepared because you just never know what's going to come when. Nobody knew there was a pandemic coming. Nobody knew that war was coming. So we don't panic around here. We just prepare. Okay, I think I'm almost at the bottom. Thank you all of you for your prep chat. That was very nice. Margarita, my family used to tease me. I prepped for years. Then the pandemic came. They weren't laughing anymore. I was the only one in the group prepared and survived. Yeah, you know. I don't know how anybody at this point is calling us crazy, but I feel like it takes something like this to happen for people to realize that it's important to prep. My grandmother learned us how to be prepared and make good use of our gardens. She went through the hunger winter after World War II, and she wanted us all to be prepared. Your grandmother is awesome. All most of my family live back in Zambia, and all of them have their own gardens and farms. So I'm still looking for my piece of farmland. I found like the perfect place yet, but I'm definitely trying to speed up the process because I want to. I It's like my New Year's resolution. Like I have to get a piece of land before the year ends. Must just shut the door. The trolls are getting in. Oh no, let them stay. Maybe they can learn something from all of us incredibly smart squaddies who know stuff about prepping. I use ice bath for strawberry preserves. Check out Ball Canning book. Okay, I will take a note of that. Thank you very much. Ball Canning book. Thank you for that. Oh, I love how this Friday chat has turned out. um, Teresa, my mum told me not to tell anyone about my stash at the beginning of the pandemic. Wasn't long before I figured out why. Yeah, girl, them zombies will come knocking. Them zombies will come knocking. No. These are the people that have a closet full of clothes that they never wear, but they don't have a packet of spare pasta in their pantry. Living in the triangle, I'm a prepper and plant all my seeds and made I get from my compost pile. Yeah, and it's such a nice feeling, isn't it? Because my mum had a vegetable garden last year, and it was just so nice to go and pick food that you grew, and there's just so much love in that food. Anna gets a small cars, put SUV in the garage, or buy an electric bicycle. Yeah, or even just a normal bicycle. I feel like bicycles are so underrated in emergency situations. Don't require any fuel. Oh, thank you very much, Black Queen. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yes, always prep the food that you eat regularly. I did make this one mistake when I started prepping, and it's quite a common mistake. You just kind of go a little bit crazy and you buy lots of things, and then you might buy things that you don't even enjoy eating, especially with canned goods. It's always really good to just try something before you buy lots and lots. And a lot of that stuff I ended up having to um, give away to other people because I didn't like the taste of it, but they did. Our Buson Farms makes good dry products too. There, you've got a recommendation, everyone, from Cinderella. Oh yes, the Amish and Mennonite communities in America sell canned items. Well, their whole lives are self-sufficient. So if anybody knows how to prep, it's them. Juanita, My brother and I were taught about canning from an early age. In our house, our parents had a small room in the basement filled with canned foods and water. That's amazing. Some people have the most impressive prepper pat. Like, look after this video. Like, go and look up prepper pantries. Like, if you've never done it before, some people are literally like prepared for the apocalypse. I've seen like 1 year food storage, 5 year food storage. Like, it's actually amazing how like some people have built up their prepper pantries. Yes, and don't forget to prep for your pets as well. Joe blogs, yes. All the tea has been spilt. We've gone into a completely random Friday evening conversation about prepping. Yeah, and there's no need to get worried. Just don't overstock. Or just stock what you can. And don't forget things like hygiene items also. First aid kits. Rhonda Bryant. My grandmother used to say, if you have a bag of rice and beans, you'll have a stomach and be full of gas. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely need to have a wide variety of different foods. And also things like prep things like spices and herbs um to give your foods flavor. Effie, as a child scout for 12 years, it's all about being prepared. It's a just in case scenario. Yeah. And Cinderella, yeah, living in Florida, you prep every year. That's amazing. But I can imagine there are still some people in Florida who don't prep. Yeah, they're caught off guard. Cream preparation is key. Remember the code. Like the truth and chili. The royal family are prolific preppers. Well, they would be because they've got all the taxpayer money to prep on, and they've probably got bunkers underneath those palaces. The queen has always grown her own. She never buys fruit and veg, never. Well, even if she does, they're going to get it from like the finest, like a £10 cabbage from Harrods. Um, yeah, Yvonne, I've been trying to tell my family to stock up for years. They all thought I was crazy. Same story for every prepper. Dehydrate some foods using an air fryer. I'm not aware that you can. The only method that I personally know of is getting the actual dehydrator. But if you can dehydrate foods using an air fryer, I'm sure that there's YouTube videos on it, if you can. America, you can dehydrate food near oven, at least some. I'm not really into this. Yeah, and it also takes a lot of time. I tried doing that with tomatoes once, and it took a really long time. So I think the dehydrator machine is a lot better, even though it takes up a lot of electricity. Yes, America, you have to turn it down to really low heat. That's true. Yeah, Mary Lane, spices are a must to prep. And yes, Cinderella, drinking water also. You can buy like 5 liter bottles. So like we have stacks of those, but also like smaller bottles as well, just for like everyday drinking water. And then the bigger 5 liter bottles in case we need to do things like cleaning. And also learning how to purify water once your water supply runs out. So things like purification tablets and different filtration systems, you can look into that as well. Also looking into storing rainwater and making sure that you know nearby sources of water if you needed to, I don't know, like go to a lake or river to get water. Piccadilly, my mum's garage is like a shop. Yeah, some people do have very impressive pantries, like, it's quite amazing, and also things that a lot of people don't think about is, getting rid of your waste, so making sure that you have things like black bags to keep waste so that you don't, attract rodents. Mm. Oh, sister, the best thing about dehydration is the taste. I can imagine it does, retain the taste quite well, and also the way it makes your house smell is amazing. Oh, I didn't know that. Cho, yes, it's from farm to table, golden satisfaction when you harvest from your own yard produce. Amen to that. Joyce, my grandmother and mother did canning. I had items in the cabinet after they both passed. Sorry to say, I have not kept up with the tradition. Well, it's not something that the younger generation do. I only really knew about canning and all of that when I got into prepping. And also, even just trying to find a canner, it's quite difficult. It's not like they sell canning machines like regularly. Even in hardware shops and homeware shops, like it, even like kitchen shops, it's very difficult to buy pressure canners. Or here in the UK anyway, like most of the people that do canning online, I've found tend to be in the US. Joe Blogs, she can freeze your spices in ice cube containers to retain their potent flavors and just pop them in where you need to use. Yes, I love that trick. Sometimes I have like two sets, and sometimes I put them in water and or in olive oil. But I found that when you put them in the oil, they tend to taste better. Sister, the key to beans is to soak them overnight and rinse or drain them several times while boiling. Add additions after the beans are no longer foamy. Yeah, good trick. I don't know if it messes with the nutrients, but sometimes when my mum gets frustrated and she can't wait for the beans to get soft anymore, or they haven't gotten soft enough, even if she's left them overnight, is she puts a little bit of bicarbonate soda, and that helps break down the beans a little bit. But I don't know if that takes away the nutrients. You can dehydrate food in a normal. Oh, is that oven? Just put them on low heat. Yeah, that's another good way of dehydrating food. Cinderella, isn't there a fable about an ant prepping in a cricket about out having fun? I can imagine there is. Living in the triangle, I use my dehydrator to preserve local seasonal fruits. That's great. Yes, Cinderella, water purifiers are great to have. Sonja, to all who think this is nonsense, what happens when the supply chain runs out? Look at all the catastrophic weather all over the world. Well, it might not even be the weather. Like, there's several different reasons why a supply chain um, could get knocked down. Obviously, with COVID, the slowdown. There was a huge slowdown in the supply chain, potential for cyber attacks, and there's different reasons why the supply chain could get knocked out. And in such a globalized world now, like, we rely so much on each other. Um, so that's kind of the consequence of all of those amazing cheap goods that we enjoy. We imported all our labor overseas, and now it's going to come back to bite us in the form of supply chain issues. In Bermuda, each home has its own rainwater system. That's interesting. Isn't it true that in some places, though, in the US, you can't collect rainwater? I've heard some people say this. Black Queen, don't forget gas masks. Well, I'm hoping we won't need them, but that's a very good point. Rhonda, I keep charcoal handy to be able to grill. So you know that you can actually create a stove using bricks. Look into rocket stoves. That's another really handy thing. So if you have off-grid cookers that use gas or alcohol, and those have to run for a long time, eventually you're going to run out of gas and alcohol. So having like a rocket stove or some kind of stove that can run on wood is also very useful, and you can literally make a stove out of just a few bricks. So look into brick rocket stoves. Um, yes, the olive acts as a really good preserver, especially for the spices. Mm. Mary, freeze grains for a couple of days to get the bugs out. Then you can store them for long term. Also use bays to keep bugs and rodents away. Thank you. That's a great tip, Mary. Yeah, and also that's another thing that you should prep, like rodent control, and make sure that you check your preps regularly. Vinny, do preppers eat from their stock and replace the fresher stuff? Yes, I do eat from my preps as and when things come nearer to the expiry date, but that's only happened like once because most canned food lasts for a very, very long time. And then sometimes I won't eat everything. Sometimes we'll donate to like a shelter. But for the most part, we do eat what we buy and buy what we eat, and that way you don't waste foods. Oh, Teresa, some air fryers have a dehydration setting. Okay, that's great. All right. I think I'm gonna give someone the last the last comment of the day. I have very much enjoyed where this Friday chat has gone, and since so many of you are very much interested in prepping, I hope you will join me over in my prepping channel. I haven't posted a lot on there because obviously I've just been focused on my Harry and Meghan channel. But obviously with everything going on, I think I need to amp up the content over there. So if you want to go and join me over at Prepping with Anne, please do. And Robert Collins, can you create another channel for preserving foods? Well, I do have another channel. It's called Prepping with Anne. And cookies and cream, I will give you the last word of the day. Everyone, please stay safe and hydrate. Look after your mental health. Don't get too stressed with everything that's happening. Just carry on praying. And these things, they're out of our control, but we can control how we react. That's the one thing that we can control. So yes, Tripadilly, time to dance. And thank you very much for everyone's donations and memberships, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.